What up? What up? It's your boy Driftxlr and my guy,
Truth Tl13.
and we here for episode 4. So we're missing AutoZone today. We were supposed to do an interview today, but some things happened and just wasn't able to get that through today. But best believe we're gonna get that out to y'all very soon. How you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, just another day. Nothing really new going on. About you?
Another day, another dollar. You know, as long as I could wake up and see another day, I'm good. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I've been really, the only thing I've been doing is working and grinding that Modern Warfare 2.
I still ain't get that yet. Like, I'm gonna have to get that next payday. You feel me? What you think about it though?
So I played the beta a few weeks ago, and I was super pissed. I was like, man, I was playing the beta, and the time to kill in this game is like super fast. You don't have time to do anything. They took away some of the mechanics that have been around for a while in the past games, like slide canceling and stuff. So the movement is a little slower, so you got to play the game more tactically, I guess would be the word. So it almost encourages camping and rattier play styles, I guess. And, so that can be frustrating, but overall, I do like the game. I like that it's not so fast-paced. It's hard for me after all that time with the past games to adjust back to a slower play style after playing so fast-paced. Like Warzone, you know what I mean? Like, we can still play Warzone, so Rebirth Island and all that, that's super fast-paced.
Extremely
and this is
fast.
to dial it down back to this is a welcome change. I'm enjoying it. And then I'm one of those people that like to do the weapon camo grinding, and this one after the last 3 games doesn't feel nearly as time wasting. I don't feel like they're preying on my time, and it's just the camos are easy and not too bad. So I like this Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, because that Warzone, boy, I be getting upset when them dudes be moving extremely fast. And I'm on my controller, and I know they on the keyboard. I'm like, how they getting away? Like, I'm trying to put bullets in them, and they go.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how. I'm excited and nervous to see how this game transfers over to the new Warzone 2 that comes out on November 16th.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that one.
So we'll see. Hopefully it's not too bad. If they do what they did with this game, I think it'll work because you really have to use the teamwork too.
Since we're on the topic of games, right, I got 2 questions. What's your top 3 game systems ever? And then your top 3 games ever.
All right. So for me, top 3 systems, it's got to be number 1. It's got to be, oh, God, it's so tough, man. I say got to be, and then I back off. I'm stuck between the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 2 because both those systems are goated. But you know what? I'll probably have to go with the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I grew up playing PlayStation 2, and that had the coldest games.
Man, they had some cold, like Twisted Metal and I remember
and just
them days.
and then when I started playing video games, I was real little, so I had the original PlayStation, and I had the Game Boy. And so, the Game Boy was more kids, Pokemon, whatever. That's really all I played on it. But PlayStation. And then being able to get the PlayStation 2 and playing all those original PlayStations on the backwards compatibility, and then all the new games that it had out. Like, I remember Kingdom Hearts, the Godfather was based off that movie series was one of my favorite video games. Grand Theft Auto, especially San Andreas, and just great classic games that people still have fond memories of. And then at a number 2 for system is the 360. You know, that's where I really, really started playing games, and then now I would say for me, system. I guess if we're not gonna factor in PC, then I would personally say the Series X coming in now, just because it's the new era, and you know we're a couple years in now, but like I don't know, I just think it's better than the PS5 personally, and yeah, it's a great system.
Man, if I go my 3 systems, number 1, the Nintendo 64. That system was hands down one of the 4 players. You didn't need the like multiplayer adapter or nothing. It was like the 4 players. Man, you got GoldenEye on there. You got WCW versus NWO Revenge. You got like
Mario 64.
All Mario Kart.
Yep.
Man,
Smash Bros.
Yeah, Smash. Nintendo 64 was classic. I'm a little older, so number 2 will be the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
The Sega Genesis was fire.
I had one of those too from my dad, so yep, I'm familiar. Same with the 64, but I didn't really have that one. That was my cousin's.
Yeah, like, so the 64, I mean, that was like, I was just amazed by that when that came out. And it was just like so much fun to play because having all the cousins over and stuff like that, super lit. The Sega was my first video game console I ever had of my own. My uncle, he had the Atari, the Nintendo, the Sega, he had all that. But the Sega Genesis, yeah. So that comes in at number 2. Then number 3. Number 3. I might have to agree with you and go with the Series X.
Yep.
Just for the, I mean, like you said, like just the the evolution of graphics and just how the game is played and all that. Like, yeah, coming in at 3.
And I think where like lately too, I don't know if you've been following along with the Activision purchase by Microsoft, but they bought Activision, obviously, and they have Call of Duty and a bunch of other various games, but Call of Duty being the biggest one and the biggest point of contention on this deal because it's got to be approved, and what's selling me more as time goes on the Xbox is just personally, I feel like Microsoft cares about gamers, and they've actively tried to include cross-play and just gamers anywhere. They're not just about, oh, you're not on Xbox, then forget you. You know, they've actively tried to bring in other things, where Sony, you're starting to see it with this deal, they're super hypocritical. They only care about gamers on Sony platforms, and even then, if they ain't put no money in, I feel like even then they don't care. Like, you know, this is stuff you can look on YouTube or anywhere and find. Like, even the president of Sony in America is saying things like, you know, talking about Xbox and having the exclusive rights to it, but that's what they've been doing for the last however many years. Anytime Call of Duty comes out, they got exclusive skins, they got earlier access than everyone else to campaign missions or multiplayer or whatever. Even this year on Modern Warfare 2, they had the beta before anybody else.
And like they only could get the Spider-Man game.
Yep. See, and like with the Avengers game, I didn't play the Avengers game, but they had the exclusive right to the Spider-Man skin, and and they have the exclusive rights to him even in the movies and stuff. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I can't even play with Spider-Man on the Xbox. That's crazy.
Right. So to me, they're just looking like babies. I don't know. It's just throwing me off, and it's sad because, like I said, you know, PlayStation 2, and the original PlayStation. So
man, top 3 games.
Top 3 games.
Like if you
my top one's easy. That's Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games ever. And then number 2, I don't know why. It just is. Like, I would play this game now if they remade it or remastered it or brought compatibility, but The Godfather. And then number 3, Number 3, I would say San Andreas.
All right. So, 3 games, top 3 that I will play. That's my number 1. Mario Party.
All right, Mario Party's cold.
Mario Party was that jam. Like,
Yeah.
Mario Party is that jam. Like, I just loved it. Everything about it. Like, the first one to, like, try to get to the end, getting all the stars and all that. And, like, man. And then my favorite character, I always got to pick Wario. You feel me?
It was Luigi for me.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm a little older. So, number 2, I got to go with NFL Quarterback Club. That game to me was so lit. It's like Madden is cold and all that, but Quarterback Club, like it gave you the fun factor. Like, you remember back in the day when the Pro Bowl, they used to have different little things, like they had the little things moving and you got to throw the football
skill challenge
them.
basically.
Yeah. They had those, so you can actually play the football game, and they also had all the skill challenges on there too. Super lit. Super. And then number 3, I got to go with NBA Jam.
Okay.
NBA
Jam's cold too.
Or it's like that or Blitz. Like, like Blitz.
Blitz the league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my, hold on.
Be in that game breaking ankles literally.
Hold on. Let me take Quarterback Club out because, all right, I'm going to go number 2, Blitz. Number 3, y'all ever play San Francisco Rush?
No, I never even heard of it.
Oh my God, y'all just got to look it up one day. Like, imagine, like, it's not as like crazy and gory as Twisted Metal. It's like imagine Midnight Club with, like, you could make it more kiddie. Like, Midnight Club mixed with, like, turbo nitrous's and all that. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously Midnight Club got that, but it was like you're doing stuff to get points, running through stuff to get points, and, like, the goal is to, like, get the most points you can doing tricks and all that. Like, San Francisco Rush was lit. But then there's GoldenEye too.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mario Party, Blitz, San Francisco Rush. I will play them games for hours. And the crazy thing, most of those games was on the 64.
Yeah. Blitz, I remember playing that on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even the 360. And they, that game was crazy. Like, everything bad that the NFL doesn't want, that game did it. Like, you could go out there and literally injure a player.
Ripping helmets off, slamming them.
Take your player and edit him and juice him. Like,
super
steroids.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. Like, all this stuff they don't want to do in the NFL, that game needs to make a comeback.
Man, like, that game is super, super dope. Like, they got it at the arcades too. Like, we got a place up here called Up Down. They got that game there.
And the other thing about that game too is that they actually had like a story, and it was actually a good story. But then, if I remember correctly, and then at least I enjoyed it. And then they had Blitz 2. I never played Blitz 2, but
yeah. So now that we're not on the topics of games, you know, because I know it's a lot of y'all out there that get busy on the sticks, you feel me? We're going to switch over to a topic that we talked about last week.
Well, actually, hang on. Before we get to that, last night I went to US Bank Stadium. It's they got like the soccer and football playoffs going on right now. And we specifically went to watch the girls' championship soccer game between St. Paul Academy and St. Anthony Village. And we know, my girlfriend, she knows a girl on St. Paul Academy. Her name's Lucia. And they ended up losing to St. Anthony last night. But I want to give I don't know if anybody's listening or not, but I want to give a shout out to the St. Paul Academy girls soccer team. tell him, hell of a season. Like, you came up a little short, unfortunately, but some people never see that game in their entire high school career.
Man.
And so y'all take that motivation and
Re-up for next year.
Re-up for next year and come back harder, And congrats on even second place, And shout out to St. Anthony Village too, hell of a game and hell of a season.
Dope. Let's give a round of applause to them. You feel me? Let's give a round of applause to them. High school sports. You feel me? But it happened. I was wrong again.
About?
The boy Anderson Silva, man. He let me down. He didn't let me down.
He didn't get knocked out.
Nah, he got dropped, but he looked okay. He did a little bit better than at 47 than a lot of these other dudes did against him. But yeah, it showed me that Jake getting there with a real boxer, he's getting his head knocked off.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I see it. Like, Jake is getting better, and like his skills is getting fine tuned, but it's just different levels when it's against somebody that's
it's
your
tough.
size and your age, and like you don't be fighting lions now.
Oh right, yeah, he fought Anderson Silva, who's
almost 50. Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like, it's tough too because like some of these guys, they've been fighting all their life. This is what they do. Jake Paul just started 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And so you got a lot of catching up to do. But I want to see him fight because he's been calling out Nate Diaz. I would actually like to see that fight. I think Nate will take his head off. But I also want to see him fight the Fury kid. What's his name?
The one that keep running?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury, little brother.
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury, yeah. Like, I used to think Tommy would dog him, but all this backing out, I'm over that fight. Like, if it happens, it happens, but I'm almost over that fight. And then I wish he would have really fought Hakeem Rotman Jr. That would have been a good one. But it is what it is. I think once one of the real boxers step up, then he'll start getting more respect.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see him. I guess I don't pay attention to him outside of when his fights are up. But, like, I don't see him challenging actual boxers. I see him challenging all these MMA fighters. And I feel like that might be, I don't know. I feel like Jake Paul, as far as his intelligence goes, isn't given a lot of credit. And that might be towards his plan because he's fighting all these MMA fighters. But he made that deal with Anderson Silva to get him. And now Anderson Silva, hopefully he follows through on that, keeps up his end. But he's got to start this MMA Fighters Association or whatever he's trying to do, which last week when we talked about that, I didn't realize there already was one, and they already have some sort of lawsuit against the UFC to get them better pay, get them better health care, whatever, and they're trying to get what's called the Ali Act from boxing. It's in boxing, and I don't know what all that entails, but I know it kind of is a lot of rules for the promoters and stuff that they have to follow, and they're trying to get that to carry over to MMA. But I know there's a lot of things that'll cause some problems, so they got to work on that. But so I don't really know. Knowing that knowledge after I looked into it a little bit last week, I don't really know what they're gonna do because it already exists.
Yeah, and that, like you said, with boxers and stuff, they got a lot of promoters over there.
Yeah.
The UFC it's not really too many promotions over there. Like back in the day, they used to have like where fighters could come out with different promotion stickers on their shorts and they could get different revenues, this and that. But now it's just strictly UFC got it to where it's like we paying you this and you're wearing this, and it's like real strict. Not too many promotions over there. So that's another reason why I just feel like, I mean, for that to eventually work, it's going to have to come from the organization more so than the group that's trying to get that to move. I mean, you always need a group to help you like that though. So, but yeah, the way the UFC is ran, I just don't see, at least no time soon, that switching up for the fighters and whatnot. So,
could you see like a governing body, like what the boxing has, like some sort of board that they can ban fighters, they can ban whatever. Could you see somebody forcing, like outside of the sport, like even lawmakers, politicians? Could you see them coming in, taking a step in, and forcing Dana White to do that?
Nah, because the way like MMA is, right? Like all the promotions run on different rules too. So like you got one organization that allows you to kick and knee while people are on the ground, and then UFC doesn't do that. So it's like you have to get all MMA organizations to like comply under this one little roof thing, and then on top of that, like it's just different because it's the UFC. So you got like UFC, Bellator, and stuff like that. But with boxing, it's just boxing. It's not like, I mean, you got PBC, you got Golden Boy, but those are promotion companies, and like these are organizations that's like all separate, but they under the same banner. But yeah, I just don't see like the like states and stuff doing it, because then also different states have different rules too. So, and there's still some states that your UFC can't even go to because they don't allow that stuff. So, I mean, it's like the UFC is like too complex of like the way they do things for like to get everything to be on one accord. You know what I mean? So it's, like with boxing, it's like it's the same everywhere, and it's allowed everywhere pretty much. UFC, it's not even still not really allowed everywhere. And then when UFC started, it was banned in a lot of like states and stuff like that. Like the interview we had with Nick, like a lot of places wasn't even allowing it, and so it's like it's still a fresh sport that's still growing. I feel like once it reaches its max potential, then maybe all that stuff can happen. But as it's still growing, I still see it's going to be a lot of growth and everything with that. So, yeah, I just still don't see it like no time soon changing or forcing Dana, because Dana's not even really the owner. He's he's like the face of it, but he's not the Fertittas, I think. Or I think it's the Fertitta brothers, if they didn't, or they could have been the old ones. But whoever's is two other guys that got the backing for the UFC and whatnot. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into that. I stopped following MMA a long time ago. It's just, to me, I don't know. It's hard enough for me to keep track of NBA and NFL and whatever, especially like as I've gotten older. Like all these new players and stuff. Like there was a point in time I could have told you the entire Celtics roster or the Patriots roster and their numbers and all that. But as I've gotten,
you see, he's a Boston fan,
except for hockey and baseball. But I don't really watch those. But I do like the Twins in the Wild. But yeah, for those, like there was a point in time where I could do that. But as I've gotten older, right, like now I just kind of keep track of the real players. Not they're all real players, but like the stars, you know what I'm saying? The people that
stands out,
big names, and some of that is because, like, you know what I mean, like they're coming in and they're 10 years younger than I am. It's hard for me to get into that, and I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I don't know if you feel that way or understand what I'm saying, but it's different. So like now MMA, it just has so much movement all the time, right? You got a guy that's dominating for a couple years. You had like McGregor. When I was watching into it, like Cain Velasquez and GSP, BJ Penn, like those guys were dominating, but then they fell off and now they're gone. And it's just, there's so much movement all the time with that. You know what I mean? Anybody's time could be up in that sport at any time. And I mean, that's any sport, but it's quick. with MMA.
Like the MMA scene is like I remember all them fighters and stuff that you name, and it seemed like back then is they stuck around a little bit longer, like you said, and now it's like more
Yeah.
fresh and like it's a like the select few will last a while. Like you got your on Izzy's.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Izzy's. We had Robert Whitaker for a little bit until Izzy took the belt. Yeah, I mean everybody else is. You don't really have nobody holding the belt for too long, but I mean you got big names still like John Jones, Stipe, Francis, Connor. I probably said them already. Patty, Sean O'Malley. Like it's a lot of big names, but like you said, they young coming up, and
yeah, but it's not like it used to be either. Like you used to have guys like Anderson Silva, for example, that go on these long streaks, title defenses, and then they lose, and they're never the same. Him, McGregor, guys like that. But you don't, and I could be wrong, because like I said, I don't really pay attention to MMA too much anymore. But you don't really see those streaks going anymore like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's Izzy in the middleweight. Like he ain't lost for a little bit, but yeah. Not too many of them long streaks.
And that could be just the sport. You know what I mean? Like they're getting better.
At least for title runs though. The guy that just beat Charles Oliveira, Islam Makhachev, he's actually on I want to say 12-fight win streak now. It's either 12 or 13. But even Charles, before he lost to Makhachev, he was on a win streak too. So, but the title win streaks, yeah, the only one that's really holding the belt for a nice little bit is Izzy. And Nunes just got the belt back, but she was one at first. But yeah, it's not like how it used to be where Anderson Silva holding the belt for damn near 3 years, 4 or 5 years, and you got Jose Aldo doing the same thing. You got Demetrius Mighty Mouse doing the same thing. Like Cain Velasquez holding the belt for a while. Like
that was my guy. But yeah, and I don't know if that's to be attributed to it still is a new sport, but even 10 years ago it was still a very new sport, and now they're getting better, and you're starting to see more well-trained, especially as it's growing in popularity. You're starting to see more well-trained fighters that, you're just not getting that no more.
Do you think the long championship streaks are good?
I do. Because you're either like, man, this dude's amazing, and you want him to keep winning, see how long he can go for it, and that's part of the sport because it can end at any time. And you want to see him keep going, but also like guys like McGregor too, where they run their mouth off and shit.
Yeah, you can't wait till.
And I like it. I like that type of energy. I like when they're running their mouth, be like, you can't beat me. But some people don't like that, so you're like, man, I want him to lose. And so you just wait and see, when he'll lose. But I think it's different from different sports too. It's just a different feel, like, I don't know. I think other sports it's not as good to have it, even as a Patriots fan, how long they dominated, I don't really think that's necessarily good for the sport. It's nice as a fan,
but I think it's like when you have those scenarios where like a person is a champ for so long, it also brings in so much more like revenue to that sport because everybody wants them to lose. Like the king of that was like Floyd. Like, like he taught the talk, walked the walk, but everybody wanted him to lose. Like I wasn't one of those guys because I love Floyd, but like he brings in so much money even to this day because everybody's just waiting for that first L.
Yep.
That first L to happen so they can just talk and brag and do whatever. Like, and I think it works towards that. Like, but I also feel like fresh faces is always good too. So like
Yep.
like say for the NFL, you got since Tom Brady left, the Patriots, they got one in Tampa, and then after Tampa, then it was the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we got somebody. Most likely it's gonna be a new team this year, and
the Bills.
like, and that's and that's like
even
dope.
even as a Patriots fan, I like Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like, I know the Patriots ain't going, so you know I'm just an NFL fan in general too. So
like Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Rams, and you heard it here. Tony said the Bills, but like just having like just fresh, like new champions is also good too. So that's dope too.
I think just with the NFL, like a lot of people were just sick of Tom Brady, sick of the Patriots, like, so they were just wanting them to lose, but at the same time, like, they wanted a fresh face in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't want them to just lose; they just don't want them in there.
Do you think the new fresh faces that's replacing Peyton Manning and Tom Brady is Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes?
I do. I do. I've said it before. Like, I think that, you know, as you can debate it all you want, but like the GOAT, right? That's Tom Brady. It's not even an argument anymore. But I think, you know, looking at that, Tom Brady's not the most talented quarterback ever. I think that Patrick Mahomes, or, you know what I mean, guys like him, I think he's the most talented quarterback that we've seen yet. Period. And yeah, I think him and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson even and Jalen Hurts going crazy this year, those guys are the future.
Do you believe in Jalen?
Looking at who they play, hell no.
I do not.
That's the same thing with the Vikings right here at home. Like, you got a lot of fans that are excited about their start. They've only lost one game, and it was to the Eagles. But look at who both of those teams have played, a bunch of nobodies. A bunch of nobodies that either, one, they're not going to make it in the playoffs, or they're losing first round.
Yep.
They haven't played nobody that I believe in.
Then, look. So, the Eagles are 8-0 for the first time ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the remaining schedule for them, potentially, they can go undefeated, which is crazy.
I think Jalen is good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's going to be part of the future of the NFL. But I don't believe in the Eagles as a team, and I don't believe in the Vikings as a team.
Here go the next few games. Washington.
Win.
Indianapolis.
Win.
The Packers.
Win.
The Titans.
That one might be tough. Titans could beat them.
I mean, they can, but
Titans are weird too, though.
Philly record is 8-0. Titans, they're what is the Titans record?
I think they've lost like 2 games.
Let me see. NFL standings.
Titans are a weird team though. Like, they
5-2.
Yeah, see, they lose to weird teams.
But
they'll lose to Washington and Indianapolis, but then they'll absolutely stomp somebody like Kansas City for a game somehow.
But then after the Titans, the Giants, who are doing well.
Actually, I think the Giants will win that game.
Then they got the Bears.
They'll win that.
Then they got the Cowboys.
They'll beat the Cowboys.
Then they got the Saints. And then they finish off with the Giants.
They'll lose both games to the Giants.
So, realistically, besides playing their own division, they are playing teams that's not really, and besides Tennessee.
And look who they play up to now. Who are the 8 teams they played? Texans,
Steelers. They beat the Cowboys. Cardinals, Jaguars, Washington, the Vikings, the Lions,
the Dolphins.
Yeah, but that was preseason.
Oh, yeah. So, regular season, they played a bunch of bums.
Bunch of NFC North.
Now, let's look at the Vikings schedule. I know they haven't played nobody except the Eagles. I think that's like the best team they played. Everybody else is sub 500, I think.
Let's check
Oh, they played the Bills. Oh, they played. They're gonna lose that game. Bills gonna put a whooping on them.
Oh yeah, they gonna get smoked by the Bills. So we got the Packers, Eagles, Lions, and they barely was winning these games.
Yep.
The Saints, the Bears, the Dolphins without Tua,
The Cardinals,
and the Cardinals, and they got Washington,
the Bills,
Buffalo, Cowboys, the Patriots, New York Jets, Detroit Lions,
Colts,
the Colts, the Giants, the Packers, the Bears. It almost sounds similar
very
to
similar.
the Phillies
The only
schedule.
team I see them losing to the rest of the schedule, two teams, is the Bills and the Giants. The rest of those teams, they could beat them because they're just not good teams. They have easy schedules.
I feel like they could lose to the Cowboys too.
Yeah.
And if your Patriots play Zap,
Yeah.
I think Zap can get it done.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know about Mac Jones. I don't know. He looked really good last year, and then he's regressed this year somehow.
Yeah, I'm confused by him. he's wishy washy, and it's crazy when you got a defense that y'all got and they look good, but the offense just y'all got receivers and running backs, and I guess it's just the quarterback play pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mac Jones or whatever, but Zap's been much better. And they might damn near need to put him in.
Hey, the way you feel about Zap is the way I feel about PJ. I need PJ Walker to stay playing for Carolina for the rest of this year.
What happened to your Panthers?
Hey, man, look. So we got rid of the coach. We got rid of Crybaby Robbie. So I feel like we're looking good right now. So, like, last week could have easily been a win, but our kicker sucked. So, yeah.
What's going on with Baker? Why does he suck?
He just needs to stay on the sideline. That's why I said PJ Walker, keep playing my boy. Because, I mean, look at this. Before PJ Walker, we probably was averaging maybe 17 points a game. We put up 34 points last week in a loss, but 34, which if they didn't call that weak penalty for pulling off his helmet, would have been a chip shot. But they pushed us back, and then we missed the field goal, go to OT, miss another field goal. I mean,
yeah. So you were on the ship this whole time. You're like, man, I don't want Baker. Baker sucks.
Yes,
you said that day one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, he's coming from Cleveland. Cleveland's a dumpster. Give him a shot. Give him 1 year. And I was like, I'll give him 1 year to prove it. This dude, it's time for me to get off. This dude's a bum. He'll at the very best if he has the rest of his career, he's a backup.
Man, he's gonna end up turning into Johnny Manziel. He's gonna be in the Arena Football League playing football,
and that hurts. I like Johnny,
man, because it just don't make sense. Like, it just don't make sense to me at all for you to be considered like this kind of level of a quarterback, but then we got a XFL MVP playing way better than you. Like, we got two. Well, Baker was the number one pick, right?
Yep.
And was Darnold the number one pick or a number two pick? He went top 3, I think.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was actually number 3.
So we got 2 top 3 quarterbacks, and yet neither of them are good enough to start for our team. It's just crazy. It's just I'm happy that next year our defense is still intact, and we can get rid of Darnold and Baker and start fresh. Mm-hmm. So the running game is looking good, even though we got rid of Christian. Still looking good. Dante Foreman looking like King Henry out there. He's probably not as big, but he's just as physical. Had 3 touchdowns last week, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. PJ, I say give that man a chance, man. Just let him take the reins to the team for the rest of this year and see what happens. Like, potentially, if we win this game last week, we're first place in our division.
Yeah. I mean, y'all don't have anything to lose. Y'all are, won 2 games?
2 games.
2-6?
Yep.
What do you have to lose? Either you put him in, right, and he sucks, and he doesn't do anything, and you guys keep losing games like you are, or you put him in, and he starts going crazy, and y'all win, y'all make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
What's there to lose?
Nothing at all. Because, I mean, we're also we would have been undefeated in the league, in our division, because we beat Tampa, we beat the Saints, we lost to Atlanta. Like, if we would beat Atlanta, we would have a win over everybody, and we all would be 3 and, we're 2, you said 2-6, so we would have been all 3-5. And us holding the win over all them, we would have held the tiebreaker to be first. That's crazy for us to be going through all this.
I shouldn't say that y'all don't have anything to lose, because if he starts winning, now you're losing out on a better draft pick. But
true,
that's really it.
And
I don't know if there's any quarterbacks coming out of this draft or not.
But if PJ start going crazy, do we need a quarterback?
Right.
Then we just use them draft picks for a line and extra little pieces to back up. So I feel like we're in a position where, and I also want to say our interim coach we need to keep. I love that man, Steve Wilkes. Like, we need to keep him. Like, yeah, promote that man.
I need New England to fire Matt Patricia anytime.
Oh man. So, who do you predict going to the Super Bowl? Now that we're halfway in, because this is like the halfway point.
AFC, I think it's going to come down to the Chiefs and Bills again. And I'm going to go with the Bills.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Bills. And then I think coming out of the NFC, the NFC's weird this year. They weird. But I don't know. I don't know. Who's coming out of the NFC? Giants are good right now, but I don't think come playoff time, I don't think that they're going to have enough offense to get it done. Their defense is great, but I don't think their offense is going to get it done in the come playoff time. I'd like to see some of these other teams turning around. I mean, you got the Eagles and the Vikings going crazy right now, but we just talked about their schedule. So I don't believe in either of them. They're going to have to prove something to me. They have the opportunities, especially the Vikings, between the Bills and Giants. So we'll see with that. But then, you can never count Tom Brady out in Tampa. They got their struggles of their own, but I don't foresee that being a season-long event for them. And then, I don't know, why do the Rams suck this year?
Man, you got to think.
You know what? I don't even care about the NFC. Fuck the NFC.
Dang.
It's gonna. You know what? Whatever team coming out of the AFC, they're winning. Fuck it. You heard it here first.
Dang.
You heard it here first. NFC. Nope. I don't believe in none of the teams over there.
Yeah, with the Rams, it's like they lost so much. Like, you have to think from the Super Bowl run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their receivers was Robert Woods. He didn't play in that game, but Robert Woods, Odell, Van Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. Then you had Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Stafford playing out his mind, Tyler Higbee, the defense. But then you lost Odell. You trade away Robert Woods. Van Jefferson ain't back yet. You pick up Allen Robinson, who hasn't had a good season in I don't know how long. Cam Akers is beefing with the organization, so they didn't trade him. So they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do with him. Yeah, lost a lot of pieces, and then on top of that, like everybody's getting better too.
Yep.
So I agree with you with the Buffalo and Kansas City. I think it's going to come down to them. Miami might be.
Listen to this NFC. These are the NFC standings. We got the Eagles and Vikings. We already said we don't believe in. The Seahawks.
They're at 3?
They're number 3, 5 and 3. You believe in you believe
Nope.
in Geno Smith like that?
Nope.
Because I don't. Guess who after that? Atlanta.
Oh my! See, you see what I mean? That could have easily been Carolina right there we win.
You believe in was it Mariota?
Mariota? No.
Nope.
No.
Coming in. Why are they ranked ahead of?
Because for the playoffs, it's 1 through 4 through the 4 divisions.
Yeah.
Then
I was say, why are they ahead of the Cowboys?
Yep.
But I want this to be off record, so like you know what I mean. Like Cowboys are 6-2, so you know what I mean. Like they're up there, but I don't believe in them. Giants are 6-2. Like I said though, the offense, Daniel Jones, it ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, you know. And then coming in after any of these teams, it is in order. You got the 49ers, the Commanders.
Oh, my God.
The Rams, the Bucks, the Packers, the Cardinals, Saints, Bears, Panthers, and Lions at 1 and 6. Which one of these? Tell me which one of these teams is beating the Bills or the Chiefs or Titans or it ain't happening.
I mean, the only team out of that list you said that I would believe in would be the 49ers. Only because now it seems like they got a lot and they putting it together.
Yeah,
Christian
that's true.
McCaffrey.
They just traded for him.
Yep, and then you still got Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, that defense. I mean, they're at a point where if they can get it rolling, then they'd be a dangerous team. But other than that,
I think the best thing that
Buffalo and Kansas City is too much.
Yeah. I think the best thing that could have happened to San Fran this year, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but Trey Lance getting hurt so that Jimmy G goes back in. You know, I don't think Jimmy G he's not elite, but he'll get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Trey Lance, I think sooner or later San Fran's going to be like, hey, so we were wrong about this guy. You know, I don't think he's their guy. I don't see it.
And Jimmy G is who I wanted over Baker, but they went with Baker.
Might get him next year.
I want to keep PJ. Let's just ride out with PJ.
Because he ain't going to be there next year. I'll tell you that.
Man.
Unless he win a Super Bowl somehow.
Have you seen any highlights from basketball?
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I saw KD
break
filthy crossover. What's his face?
The man did the splits.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he did not want to get up. He made,
and then he drained it.
Yes, I was like, oh man, he hit him with a boom, and then came back and then swoop.
Filthy.
Like after he hit the ground, hit the splits, that was a mess. That was a mess. And it's crazy that they went crazy that game. Yep. No Kyrie.
Yep.
Like,
what you think? Yeah, go ahead.
No Kyrie, and then you got did Ben Simmons even play?
I don't know. I'm not too sure what he did. I don't know. Does it matter? Because he usually don't show up anyways.
Exactly.
Even when he's there, he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
He hasn't done nothing that this year where I'm like.
Besides the fouling John Morant, that's the only thing I've seen from him.
He's been in the news for the highlights for the wrong season. And to answer your question, he did not play.
See, so yeah, I think Brooklyn need to just blow that whole thing up. Mm-hmm. Might as well at this point. Like,
they needed something. They're missing something. I mean, you Kyrie's still Kyrie, right? As much as I don't like him, he's still Kyrie. He's still a dangerous player every night. Except for 2 games ago, he went out and dropped like 4 points. I was like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that was the game he didn't even attempt a shot until like the fourth quarter or something like that.
And then Ben Simmons is still I would still say he's an elite defender. He's not a guy you got to worry about going out and getting 30 points. You just got to tell him he's a bitch or something, and he'll get it in his feelings, and that's it for him for the night. But it's real easy to get in his head.
Mm-hmm.
he's a marshmallow. But I think they got a good squad. They just somewhere they're missing something. They got to make a trade to get it done.
Definitely need some size.
Because otherwise, Milwaukee is undefeated right now. They're looking stupid crazy this year. Boston is looking real dangerous.
Yeah. The Milwaukee-Minnesota game last night, that was hilarious. Rudy Gobert stepping out for a three. Oh my God. He airballed. Didn't even come close to the rim. Like, he got the pass, was wide open, and was like, well, I guess I'll take it. He looked like Ben Simmons out there.
Yeah, he should never do that again. That team, man, Minnesota, I don't know what's going on with them, man. They got Anthony Edwards, they got Rudy Gobert, they got Karl Towns, they got
D'Lo.
Like, why? Karl Towns, and it does what he does every night, but like, I don't know what it is. He's just soft. I've said that before. Like, he's not physical. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Anthony Edwards is weird because he's good, but there'll be days he goes off for damn near 40, and then there's days he gets like 9. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And D'Lo, he just kind of there. He's far from his Brooklyn Nets days. And then Rudy Gobert, you never know what you're getting out of him. So.
And that's the crazy part, though. With Rudy, you would think it would give Cat more opportunities to stretch the floor and play the game he wants to play, because now you got Rudy down there getting boards, blocks.
Yep.
I mean, he's not really an offensive presence, but you can use him on a block and get him to post up or whatever and kick out. And then you got Karl Towns. He could stretch the floor with a smaller defender on him, since he's originally a center, but he has guard skills. Then you got Anthony Edwards, who's pretty much, to me, I kind of compare him to like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Because they got that physical frame and they play hard. Mm-hmm. So you got that. Then you got D'Lo, who's like a light switch. 1 minute he's ice in his veins. Yeah. Next minute is where's the ice at? Like, yeah, ice cold. Yeah. So like, I guess it's the role players on the bench. They don't really have too much of that no more. So
they got a couple
of young
players, but
a bunch of young boys. I mean,
good luck getting it with them contracts too.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of a bunch of big name superstars on one team, because it don't usually work out.
I think D'Lo's going to be out of there by trade deadline. I don't think he'll be there.
It could possibly happen.
I know Karl Towns, that's his buddy, but
I know Karl ain't going nowhere, or Rudy,
but I think
Edwards.
Come trade deadline, he's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something Brooklyn looks at. Here's Ben Simmons.
If Ben Simmons come to Minnesota, that's not going to look good at all.
Nope. But I could see Minnesota doing some dumb shit like that.
I'm trying to think. You don't need scoring from Ben, and if you take Ben and actually put him at the point guard, because he is players that run point guard, but they're not point guard. Mm-hmm. Like LeBron, he pretty much runs point, but he's not the point guard. But if you have a lineup where Ben Simmons is the point guard at that size, mm-hmm. and you're not expecting him to score buckets, just facilitate and attack, I mean, Minnesota could be a good spot for him. But, I mean, I just don't understand you in the NBA and you just can't shoot at all.
I've never understood that. I've never understood how, right, you, like you just said, you're a professional athlete in a professional organization in a professional sport. Like, you playing at the highest level, and you got guys like Rondo, Shaq, that come off, that's just names coming off the top of my head, but, like, they come in, getting paid how much, can't make a free throw. Can't make a free throw. And you that should be something you working on in practice every day. And as an organization, right, how do you look at, all right, who's our shooting coach? Who's teaching Shaq how to shoot free throws? You fight out of here. We get someone else. You know, and that's the same thing I look at baseball. You got guys like Miguel Sano, can't hit a goddamn ball to save his life. And when he does, it's a home run. But that motherfucker strike out more than anyone I've ever seen. And, you know what I mean? If I'm the Twins, I'm looking at, all right, who's the batting coach? Why? You out of here. Get someone else. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but, like, you're a professional athlete. Why are you not working on this stuff?
Man.
Why? And as an organization, you're paying these guys how much? Why are you not getting them better help to do it?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Because if I was making that kind of money, even when I'm not at home, I got a gym at home. I'm putting the same shots up.
You know, like, yeah, cool. Ben Simmons, you can pass. Good job. So can everyone else on this team. What are you really good at? You know, cool. You can play defense. All right, that gives you a step up. You know, most people nowadays in the NBA, they don't play defense like that. It's harder, but why are you not in there practicing at least a mid-range shot?
Something that is going to threaten the defense. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see because, you know, how things get real crazy around trade deadline.
Oh, yeah. Like the NFL, it got super crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I can see a lot of movements happening for the NBA. Like, a lot. But,
yeah, especially once injuries start coming out throughout the rest of the season.
But that also messes up things, too, because if you hurt, then you can't get traded because you got to pass physicals and –
Right. No, I was just meaning, like, players get hurt, now you got to fill the spot, so you try to trade to do it. So, you know, once that – you'll start seeing around that time what teams going to look like towards the end of the season. So,
yeah, I know L.A. going to be making a lot of trades.
Man, you know, it's crazy. I was going to bring that up. Bring up Russ again, but he's been coming off the bench. Hey, he's been killing it off the bench. So
he's the sixth man of the year.
So
that's what he go.
You know, it's crazy if he wins sixth man of the year. But you can't tell me anymore. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear another word about Russ being the problem in L.A. ever. Russ is a problem. Don't get me wrong. But he's not the problem that L.A. needs to fix. They have a lot of problems they need to fix.
Oh, man. Russ, a.k.a. sixth man of the year. Would you ever thought that title would have been on him?
Nope.
Oh, man.
But I hope he wins it now. Because you know why? Because LA's not finding a trade partner for him.
Oh, nope.
They're going to have to ride it out with him, or they're going to have to cut him.
Man,
something.
I've been watching highlights, and I've seen Russ, like, going so crazy that they coming to the sideline, him and Darvin Ham, like, just embracing each other because he's going crazy off the bench. Like, that is hilarious to me. Like, oh, man.
Yep, I hope he wins it. And I hope that's front and center on his display case with all his trophies for anybody.
All his accolades.
Yep.
Oh, man. I would have never thought sixth man of the year would go with Russell Westbrook.
Nope.
That's crazy.
But he is not the – L.A. got a lot of problems right now, and they need to figure it out. But they need to stop. We can stop pointing fingers at Russell Westbrook now, all right?
They found this row.
I'm not saying that he's the guy. Like, I'm not retracting what I've said about him. He still needs to come off the bench wherever he goes. He's, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to be that sixth man. Because look at on any offense, he's gonna ruin the flow. But on any team, but LA can, we can stop pointing fingers at him being the problem for LA because he is not.
Oh man, oh I'm so crazy. Oh, this is crazy, man. All the bashing I've been doing about him, I gotta stop now because hey. But I also said he was gonna look good coming off the bench. So like, I mean, he still got a lot of talent left. It's just he's not a starter.
Nope. And it's just his play style just doesn't mesh, and he's not gonna go to a team like Sacramento where they're not making the playoffs. He you know what I mean? He wants to go. At this point, he would want to go to a contender. So any contender he's going to, he needs to come off the bench. It doesn't matter, you know.
Oh, another team that I criticized a little bit. I mean, I wasn't like bashing them or nothing, but I just didn't think they would gel. But they're gelling. I need to just stop predicting stuff for teams. Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell is looking good over there with them young boys.
Mm-hmm.
He had a game with Karis LeVert. They both had 41.
Yeah, they're going crazy.
He had a game with Darius Garland. Darius Garland got poked in the eye, came back, and closed out the game for him. And that was against Boston too.
Yeah,
like they going crazy over there with them young boys and Donovan Mitchell. So
yeah,
I'm on record to say I apologize. Y'all are gelling very well. Keep it up.
I will say though, the first episode with just you and Otto, y'all had a conversation about like who did you think was gonna have a better season between the Cavs and another team.
Pelicans.
And
I picked the Pelicans.
You picked the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm. It's not looking like that right now.
But the Pelicans are doing good in their own right.
Yeah, but we still got a lost season. But yeah.
Yeah, what are we only like 8-9 games in?
Yeah.
For each team, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man. Well,
what else you got going on in outside of sports? What else you got going on? Anything you want to talk about?
I really ain't got too much going on, really. Do you?
Not super upcoming, like, you know what I mean? Like, but for those that don't know me, I am in the Minnesota Army National Guard, and so I have 11 years in of service and counting. So upcoming, I'm pretty excited about this, but upcoming in May, I'm supposed to be going to Croatia for a training exercise. I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully we'll get some time off in to go kind of wander the country. I've never been to Croatia. I'm pretty excited about it. And then that's leading up to January of 24. I'm supposed to be deploying somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those. Where I end my military career, I'm not sure yet, because I could do it next August of 23 when my contract's up, but I'm planning on re-enlisting to go on that deployment with my soldiers, and I'm pretty excited about it. You know, the last one I did was 4 years ago, and that was one of the better experiences I've ever had, and I got promoted to sergeant. So coming back, I took over a whole group of guys, and I'm squad leader for like 10 different people. And you know, they didn't know me, I didn't know them. As a brand new unit. Most of the people I deployed with, they were moving on, whether they were getting out of the military or they were getting promoted and going to a different unit. And so I was taking over a brand new unit, basically, me and one of my other buddies, Tim. And since then I've had the most fulfilling role I think I've ever had in my life. Like teaching them, younger soldiers, and leading them, and just being the leader that I never had when I was in their shoes as a young soldier. My leadership was fucking trash. That's what to say that. That's I don't know how to be nice about that. It actually pisses me off. But you know, just trying to be that guy that I never had and teach them and mentor them and whatever, like, it's been really fulfilling. And so kind of going on the deployment would be like the finished product, right? Like, I've trained you to get here, and even though it's probably not going to be super intense or anything like that, you know, it's just kind of that symbolic thing. And then coming back, we'll see what happens, because most of them will be ready to move into my shoes and take over and move on. So whether I keep going or not is to be determined, but But I'm looking forward to those 2 events.
Oh, that's dope. It's, since we're on that topic of like leading and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like the joy you get from helping younger and other people grow into better people themselves and into better roles, like you gain like a lot of like satisfaction from other people's growth,
Oh, definitely.
more so than yours. Like I'm a dean of students at a school, so like when you were saying all that, like it resonated with me a lot too, because like
Yep.
going to school and like them years of being young and not having like a lot of people to turn to and talk to, and that'll grow yourself into a better person or just give you different avenues that you can venture is dope. Because like I was raised by my grandparents, like I wasn't raised by my mom or dad from birth, and then it's only so much they could have did for me.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like they was going to all my football games, my basketball games, taking me to boxing practice, and my uncles was out in the street doing whatever they was doing and stuff like that. So just having that experience and wishing I had somebody to look up to, or wishing I had somebody I can talk to or vent to or stuff like that, when I do it in a school setting and I work with these kids and then I give everything I can give to them as if I was talking to myself or doing for myself.
Yep.
And then seeing them elevate, I get so much joy from them pushing themselves and applying themselves to stuff like that. So when you say that you're looking forward to that stuff and you're working with grown men and helping them, you like build themselves up into better people and different roles, that's dope to me. That's super dope.
It is, like I said, it's one of the most, not even one, it's the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done, period. And, you know, and they don't even realize it half the time, but like, I think, but like the stuff that I've taught them or shown them or just the way I carry myself there is, and to see them either pick it up and do it or utilize anything that I've taught them is kind of one of those, like, it's just awesome. And you know, and for like you, like leadership is universal. You know, it doesn't just apply to the military. Anyone can be a leader, you know, and you don't even have to be in a position of power. Like, you know, that's one of the things you learn early on in the military too. Like, you could be a private and you can lead by example just by doing the right shit. And other people around you see that, and so they do it. You know? Not all the time. Doesn't work for everybody. But, I mean, I haven't had any issues with anybody that I've been in charge of. You know, I have a pretty good group of people. But yeah, you know, like I said, I was a hard-headed kid too, and my parent, like I bounced around a lot. I lived between my dad and my mom's and my grandparents for a little bit when I was younger, whatever. But you know, as far as trying to figure things out and talking about things and stuff, you know, they did what they could, but like talking about my emotions and things I'm going through, like, I don't know, I never really did that with them. So I had become a fairly private person, and I'm still pretty private, but I tell people about stuff I'm doing or what's going on a little more, depending on who it is. And, you know, I told you in the group chat, like, you know, after, like I said, I was, had you asked me 2-3 months ago, I was done with the military. I would have just got out in August, and I had some impactful conversations with some of these people, and decided, like, hey, I'm gonna take the next step in leadership, and when you guys fill my shoes, I'm gonna be there to mentor you while you doing it for somebody that's in your shoes, and it just carried along, you know, because the Army's got to share problems, and, you know, at the end of the day, they don't care about me, they don't care about them. You know, the Army's an organization. They'll replace you in a heartbeat, and you know, but if I can impact any of them, that branches off of just me, and then they take that and they can impact other people. It's like a spider web, or not a spider web, but like a tree branching. It just carries on. So, I am one person, so I'm not gonna make all the change, but I could start it.
And just a few people that you touch is a big impact, because you touch, say, 5 people.
Yep.
Them 5 people touch 5 to 10 people, and then that continues. That branch just grew into thousands and millions eventually. So, I mean, I applaud you on what you do, and keep pushing, man. Like, that's dope to me, because like you said, like, when the conversations you had with your counterparts, like, helped you, like, it made you want to keep going. Because I have that same effect with kids. It's like, as bad as these kids be, they also make it worth it. Like,
right.
They make it worth it for me to keep going and keep wanting to do it for them. Because, I mean, somebody got to do it. And, I mean, I feel like just working with kids, from coaching, rec centers, being a para, to being a dean of students, like, my niche is kids. And just pushing them to be better is super dope.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, so I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully, things work out the way that I want them to. I told you on the group chat, and I get in that role. I'm doing everything that I can. It's not 100% dependent on me. I just do what I can do and control that, but hopefully it works out, and then we'll go through this deployment and see what happens.
And I know you keep hearing Tony reference the group chat. I know y'all all have group chats out there, and yeah, the group chat be lit.
Group chat is wild.
The group chat goes from being funny to ruthless to serious, back to being funny, back to maybe being stale for like maybe 5 minutes or so, then it's right back up. Like, it's lit. So when you hear Tony reference the group chat, yeah, it goes down.
It goes down, and I'm a motherfucking menace. And it's funny because they think that that's how I am. How I am in there is how I am outside of that group chat. Like, a little bit, I won't lie, but I'm in there just having a good time. Like, that is my time when I'm talking in there to talk to y'all, get to know everybody, and y'all get to know me, release, is chill, have the conversations that really ain't having with nobody else.
Exactly.
And I'm responsible for at least 2 people leaving that group chat because they pissed off at me. But they come back.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. They got to come back, whether we force them back or they come back on their own. But, yeah, this is the episode.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week with more. You feel me?
Hopefully, we'll have a full group.
Yeah, hopefully Otto will be back.
I'm not sure if it's going to be an interview or another episode like this, but yeah, we'll be back. I won't be here the episode after that, though. But
yeah, but it's the Cool Fam Podcast. Driftxlr.
Tl13.
We'll see y'all next week.